Good morning, Jen.
Oh, she's wearing red too.
Yeah.
Yay.
I put on a red casual top, but you ladies look beautiful and festive and all dressed up.
And I got my 1944 remembrance pin on.
Oh, you do?
Oh, see, red fits it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
red for multiple reasons. And we've got a red heart from Deanna.
And what are your earrings, Jen?
They're just silver earrings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought they were balls, silver balls.
No.
Good morning, Deanna and Heather.
Good morning and welcome.
Hi. If you feel comfy to put your beautiful faces on the screen, please do so.
I'm on a work computer, so it's not a great. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Is it okay to keep?
Hi, Heather.
Hello.
Hey, Heather.
And Deanna, can I ask you a question, Deanna? Do I know you from Goodness Me?
No. I've been to I think 3 of your. I don't know if that the first way I met you was through that. I'm not sure because I don't know if that's familiar, but I've been to I think 3 of your things, Angie, because I remember you saying like, "You'll be able to do this." I'm like, "No, I won't." And then I literally like my first try, not great, but my second pen to paper, I was like, "Oh my God." And I showed everybody and I told Heather about it and now she's joining.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, welcome. That's so awesome. Oh, I just love that. That's my favorite feeling when, somebody's like, yeah, there's no way I can do this. And then they see the possibilities because we're all creative. I love it.
And I feel I'm not creative, Angie. And it was beautiful. Like it actually looked beautiful, like someone else did it. So I was very happy.
Okay, Deanna, you need to send me a picture of that. I want to see it. Please.
Oh, well, I'll send you a picture of today's stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
That would be fun. We could all post our bucket list.
Yeah. So let's just chit chat for maybe a few more minutes to wait to see if any more will hop on, if that's okay with you.
Fabulous. Yes. Welcome in.
Yes, welcome. I'm not sure if everybody printed off their bucket list. If you haven't, it's in the email, so you can print it off afterwards if you want. Okay. Yeah.
I was a bit confused about the time, Angie. Heather actually spoke to me on the phone about it because in the first email, it didn't tell you the time. It's only this follow-up email that told us. So I was actually going to totally miss it.
Oh my goodness.
We're glad you made it.
A smaller turnout if more people aren't checking their email right now, because that was the only time I saw the time.
Interesting. Okay.
So if Heather didn't tell me, so that might be why we have a smaller amount of people. I don't know.
Thank you for letting me know. Okay, that's my bad, because you know what? I originally posted it as an event in Facebook. So I posted it there with all of the details, of course, in that event, because, Facebook makes you say when, where, who, how, like everything, right? And I did not realize that I didn't write that in the first email.
Yeah, I'm just saying because I know the other 2 events I went to of yours, there were lots of people. So I'm thinking that might have been the issue this time.
Could be.
It's okay. We're going to have fun no matter what.
Oh my God.
Exactly. I can't wait. That's okay. That's excellent notation for next time, to write the time and date and all the details on every email. Thank you, Deanna. So you're hearing the music okay? Yes, friends? We're going to be playing a little bit of holiday music a little bit later. So,
just for fun.
I do want to, be cognizant of our time, everybody's time here. So I think we will begin, if that's okay with everybody. And if people hop in, I'll just let them in, and we'll go from there. How's that? Okay, great. Everybody, welcome. So I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy that you found us again today, Deanna, despite the issues that with the original email, but I'm so happy that you're here. Jen and Jeannelle and Heather, welcome. I want to acknowledge that it's Remembrance Day today on November 11th here in Canada, and Veterans Day in the US. And so at 11 a.m., we will observe a couple minutes of silence. And, but first, we will begin our session with Jeannelle Benek. So Jeannelle will be sharing her gifts with us today and her love and appreciation for art as healing. And then we're going to conclude with a fun holiday quiz, and there will be prizes. Sounds good? Thumbs up? Yep. All right. Okay, everybody. So Jeannelle Benek is a board-certified music therapist, grief specialist, classical soprano, pastor's wife, and homeschooling mom. She's the founder of Co-Creators Care, serving individuals and communities in times of significant transition or disruption. She's been doing therapeutic, creative arts-based work for over 20 years. She currently lives in Miami, Florida with her husband, their 7-year-old son, and their feisty cat named Señor Guapo. I'm thrilled that Jeannelle could be here with us today. She is my friend, and I'm so grateful that she could be here to share her gifts with us. So please, Jeannelle, take it away.
Oh, thank you so much, Angie. It's such a pleasure to be here, and it's truly a joy. Today, you know, we're focusing on, I know sometimes people say, stay in your lane, Santa, when we're getting close before Thanksgiving and the fall season. But the idea is setting our intention to plan ahead so that our season is not one of stress, but it is one of joy and light. We all can identify, we're all women in this group, of that extra layer of stress, of rushing around to easily, so that, you know, we can meet all of our tasks at hand and try to prepare our families and ourselves for the holiday season. But sometimes we can be pulled out of the blessings of what the holiday season is all about by being so stressed and stretching ourselves so thin. So I just commend you even for taking this time in your workday or even in your home to set aside some time for creativity and fun to give to yourself to prepare for the holiday season ahead. So I would love to get to know you guys a little better. So if you wouldn't mind, we can share who you are, where you're at, and a favorite holiday tradition or memory as we set our intention for this time together today. So let's see, I'm trying to think of a favorite holiday memory. So for me, my family loved to stay up really late on Christmas Eve. My family is culturally Catholic, so we went to Mass and we went to midnight Mass, and it was always a miracle that Santa came while we were at midnight Mass. So we came back and we'd have champagne ready, and we would pop the champagne or have orange juice, and we would stay up all night until like 3 or 4 in the morning opening presents and celebrating. And then we would sleep in the next day and then load into the car whenever we rolled out of bed and drive the 5 hours to my grandparents' house in southern Texas. And we would be there in time for Christmas dinner. And then we would do it all over again, opening presents with the grandparents and my cousins. So that is just such a fun, happy memory that I'll always hold with me when I think about the holiday season.
So fun.
That's great.
I'd love to know some of your memories or favorite traditions.
Jen, do you want to go next?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of my most favorite Christmases was that we surprised my husband's mom by going down to Mexico where she was vacationing, and we surprised her that we were her Christmas present that year. And that was one of the best Christmases that we had, from living in Canada where it's cold and snowy all the time to having a Christmas where there's palm trees and sand and all of that kind of stuff was really fun. And this year we're doing it again. We're going to spend our Christmas down in Mexico. So that'll conjure up some memories unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but the rest of the family will be there. And so it'll be a good remembrance of her and our time at Christmas.
That's beautiful.
And where are you located, Jen?
I'm in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Welcome.
Just down the street from Angie.
Yay. We're so glad you're here. Thank you for sharing that beautiful memory, and what a wonderful way to honor her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Deanna or Heather, would you like to share?
Yeah, I can come in. First, I want to say, Jeannelle, like as a child, me and my brother always tried to convince our parents that we should be able to open presents at night. And even one, it never happened. It was always a Christmas morning thing. And Jennifer, your story was beautiful. That's so beautiful. And how you're honoring that memory by going to Mexico again. Sorry, I just wanted to say that because
Thank you.
When I was a child, my dad's side of the family is huge. So we used to wake up early Christmas morning and we'd have to wait on the stairs till my parents made sure everything that Santa did was how it should be, and they added their presents to Santa's stuff. And so we would like sit on the stairs in anticipation. And like I can still remember like sitting on those stairs, and we always get a real tree. So smelling the tree and that anticipation and excitement, it was just, I loved it. And then we would, after we opened our presents and stuff, we would have a big breakfast together. My dad would make this traditional Christmas breakfast, we call it. And then we would get ready and go to one of our aunt's houses, and huge extended family would be there. Over time, we don't do the extended family thing anymore. Everybody's moved and people have kids and separate, all the cousins we have like had to go to part of this family, part of other, but my family of origin has kept it where we get together and do it. Like now that I live close to them, I'm in Mississauga, Ontario. We go over early in the morning and bring our presents, my husband and I, and we do presents with my parents still like that. And then we do a big breakfast, and then everyone comes over to our house for dinner now. So, but it's just that the nostalgia of still us keeping the breakfast and everything, and you really feel it. Like there's a real deep feeling inside of you for that nostalgia, right?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
So special. Thank you for sharing. So you have to sit on the steps still, Diana?
Actually, you know what's really funny about that, Jeannelle? Before I was with my husband, so we've been together like, well, technically 8 years, but 11 years. But for Christmas morning, when I would stay over at my parents still, before me and him lived together, yes, I did. My mom would be like, no, it's not ready for you yet. But you know what? I loved it.
That's so
I
cute.
loved it, 'cause it's like you go back to that childhood feeling and that child being. So it was okay, but now no.
Well, maybe you can recreate that feeling in a different way into the future holiday.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. All right, Heather, would you mind sharing where you are and a favorite memory or holiday tradition?
Sure. I'm in Etobicoke, so West Toronto. And what I really love is Christmas morning, like with the kind of similar to Deanna, like with my parents and my brother and his wife, and she's pregnant now, so baby to come soon.
Nice.
And we just have like a really slow morning where we come down and we have stockings still, and so we just go one at a time, and everyone like watches everyone else open one present. We go in a circle, and I just love how slow it is and how much we like savor it. We're not just ripping them open at the same time, and I love that. And then after we finish the stockings, then we have a big breakfast. And then after that, we start with the main gifts. So it's really drawn out, and it's like just really nice to have that time together. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's so beautiful. We still do stockings as well in my family, and we like to make our stockings super silly. Like we always have gag gifts in them, and like fruit and nuts and and we like ceremoniously go one at a time, like opening like a toothbrush, or and it's just so funny. But we space it out too, where every person has to take out a little present from the stocking, open it, and we ooh and ah, no matter, even if it's a toothbrush or a stick of gum, fun.
That's cute.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Heather. How about you, Nancy?
Yes, so I'm in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Woo! And
Yay!
yes, so oh my goodness. I first want to say thank you because it's Remembrance Day here. And in our household, we're very strict about not celebrating the holidays until Remembrance Day, right? So when my husband sees lights on homes, he's like, they should not be lighting up. He's like, I don't care if they're hanging there, but they shouldn't be lighting up their lights. It's disrespectful. And so, I get it. So I try not to think about the holidays, but as everybody's telling their stories and everything, I'm starting to get emotional and thinking about when I was a kid. And those are the best memories. So I'm getting emotional because my father's no longer with us. It's been almost 25 years, but Christmas Eve was the most special time in our household. It's a very big thing in an Italian family, especially. And we would do like a seafood feast, and my parents would do so much work. But it was my dad's night that, he would prepare all this incredible food and everything. And I just have the best memories of that. But one of the funniest memories is that every year he would go to this fishmonger and buy crazy, like all sorts of fish and seafood, and eel would be on the menu too, right? And I would forget, oh yeah, it's that time of year. And one day, like a couple days before Christmas Eve, I'm walking down into the basement, and on the floor, it's a snake on the floor, right? I'm like, and then I realized, oh, it's an eel. It jumped out of the sink. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite Christmas memories. Like I just chuckle about, the eel on the basement floor. And every year I think about that, and then I think about my dad and all the work. And my mom always says, your father took great pride in that night. She said, but I was the sous chef. Like she says, I was the gopher. I'm the one who did all the work. And she did do a lot of work. But as a family, we actually all did, because he made his famous thing was this seafood chowder that was over the top incredible, that we've tried to recreate. And, sometimes we get close, but it was like, he would start it a couple days before the date. And every time you walk by, you had to stir the pot. If you ever walk by that pot, you got to stir the pot. Yeah.
A whole new meaning to stir the pot.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, funny. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah. Well, we want to take that spirit and that joy into the season ahead. And, some of it is I know that it's not quite the right time yet, but we can keep a mindset that helps us prepare and, ward off a lot of the stress that we sometimes undo, we don't need to put on ourselves. Well, we have about 9 minutes. So what we can do in this time, as we're getting ready to do a little 2 minutes of reflection, is I want you to think about your intentions for the day. I have these cute little leaves. This is maybe an idea you could do with a table if you gather in the fall or at Christmas time or Hanukkah time, whatever you celebrate. You could put some type of little paper symbol, but something that can be easily written upon. And if you do faux calligraphy, you could write the name in faux calligraphy. We have a wonderful teacher here. And then on the back, just have some pens or pencils on the table. And if you have little ones, they could draw a picture of something they're grateful for, or you could set your intention for the holiday season. So I'm going to invite, so I'm going to invite us now to just grab a little scrap of paper or what have you. And we're going to just set our intention for the next hour together, or less than an hour together. And if you, and then we're going to get into later making our own holiday bucket list. So let's just take a moment to set an intention, write a word, phrase, or draw a picture of your time together.
Excellent. And I have set my alarm too.
Yes. Oh, you did, or you're
Yes.
going to? Okay.
I have, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're just going to take a minute or two here. If you're at work, you can just grab a sticky note or whatever you find nearby. There's no right or wrong. We're just setting our intention. Time together for this day. There's a really fun video on YouTube. It's an old song. It kind of has a Southwestern vibe to it. It has a lot of drums, Native American sounds. It's by Kathleen Drucker, and the song is called Thank You for This Day. So if you ever need a little pick-me-up of gratitude, I really recommended that song. But it basically is, you know, saying thank you for this day, this wonderful, beautiful day.
Beautiful.
And you can add your own intentions to it. So my intention for our time together, and it'll probably show up backwards on the screen, is joy.
Joy, oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, so I want us to have joy in our time together. It is a joy to be, you know, invited. It's a joy to be a part of this Common Calligraphy group. We have so much fun, and it has been a wonderful stress reliever for me this past year or so. Just a wonderful tool to add to my toolbox as a way that I can decompress and de-stress and recenter. I always tell people I don't do art because of how it looks. I do it because of how it makes me feel. I don't consider myself a visual artist in any way, really. Angie has helped me a lot with my skill set. But I'm an auditory person. I'm a music girl. So, but discovering art through creativity has been a real gift to me. Something that I also started during the pandemic, before the pandemic, but during the pandemic time, getting more into is making an altered book. And that's where you can take any book and you can change the story and make it your own with art. So we have an altered book group in Facebook, and we meet once a week, and we do, you know, just doodles and art.
I love that one. The neuro art.
This is one of my newest ones. But even I work from home, and even sitting at my desk during a busy time, sometimes I just need to decompress, and I just have my little art, my altered book or a little scrap of paper, and I doodle, because it gives my brain a chance to go into that rest and digest state and recenter. So art is such a fabulous tool. And if you learn some faux calligraphy, that's another way you can do a little art during your day to give yourself a pick-me-up. Would anybody else like to share maybe their intention of this time together? You could share the image if you like, or just share the words or thoughts.
Okay, I just want to say something quickly. So first of all, Jeannelle is being very modest. She is very artistic and creative, and I think everything she creates is beautiful. And maybe she'll even sing for us later at some point, or even on a future call if she doesn't want to today, because I don't want to put her on the spot. But she has so many talents. And yes, and thank you for reminding me about the virtual altered book club. when I send out the replay, everyone, I will add links to things that we've talked about. But I just want to quickly say connection.
Oh, I love that.
That's my word. I love to connect with people. I feel best when I am connecting. I feel most whole and most joyful when I am. I love time by myself to reflect. So I like to connect with myself, but I love to connect with people. And if I've had time where I'm not doing that for an extended period of time, I get a little crazy, a little negative. And I don't, yeah. So I love to be with people. That's my intention. Connection.
I love it. Jennifer, can you share?
Yeah. Mine's honor.
Beautiful.
And I think just with that little story that you had us reflect on a memory, and honoring, I think today I'm feeling kind of emotional because it's Remembrance Day. Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting choked up, but yeah, I just think that to honor myself, to honor those around us, and be more in tune with what's happening and how I'm feeling, because you kind of put things on the burner and look after everybody else, but not yourself. So I need to honor myself, I think. Is
beautiful. Thank you for sharing. All right, Deanna or Heather, I'm going to share an intention word.
I put being present.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
The exact same thing.
Oh.
Oh, see,
For your
you're
friends.
right on the same, right on the same wavelength. That's so beautiful.
Just because we're so scattered, like for me, I'm so scattered in my day with so much going on all the time. Like, I'm in school, I have a full-time job, and then I'm in practicum to be a psychotherapist. So
wow.
So essentially I have a part-time job, a full-time job in school, and I'm
goodness.
I fight to be present in the moment. So I'm actually like putting off a work meeting so that I can stay here instead, because I feel like this is better for my health. Your energy is just beautiful, and I really am working at staying present, and I'm really enjoying you guys so much. I just have to say, sorry.
Oh, well, your future clients will thank you for it.
Yes.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Okay,
and Heather, do you want to tell us a moment of why you chose that?
Oh, I don't know. I guess just similar reasons. I guess the day just goes by and your mind is racing, and yeah, I just want to like slow down and be conscious of what I'm doing and just have a fun time creating and be conscious of how I'm feeling as I'm creating and just be there, and that's all I have to do. And yeah.
Beautiful.
Just so beautiful. Well, we're coming right upon our time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read a little quote for us. And in this time, you could take a moment to just sit and be still, or if you would like to write some words of gratitude or your emotions surrounding Remembrance Day and Veterans Day, as we honor those who have sacrificed so much for us. Gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. The more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have even more to express gratitude for. And that quote is from Zig Ziglar. So let us take a moment in time to honor and reflect. And Angie has the timer going.
Excellent. And that's our 2 minutes, friends.
I wrote thankful in my altered book because I am so grateful for all of there's I think none of us our lives have gone untouched by those who have served us. Even if we don't have a direct family relation, we're here today because of the freedoms that others have afforded us. And we're so grateful.
I just have goosebumps, you know. I really do appreciate this.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. I'm so thankful. I have lots of veterans in my family. So thankful for them.
Me too. Can I ask
yeah.
a question before you go further? So, okay, so originally, I just want to get this clear in my head. So originally it was Armistice Day, right? Celebrated, and actually I wrote it down because, you know, 1918 on November 11th, the 11th hour, the 11th day, signifying the end of the war. So then in Canada, we changed it to Remembrance Day at one point, and in the US, it is Veterans Day. So Veterans Day is honoring your veterans, and Memorial Day is honoring those veterans who have died in service. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Is it the same for Canada, or is it those
in Canada? We call it Remembrance Day, and we remember those who have served, who have died, or who are still in service. Yeah,
I got it. Okay, so it's kind of combined.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
But it's honoring all the same.
Yeah. The people who make the ultimate sacrifice for us, right? And I remember when I was as a kid in school, I remember pausing for the 2 moments of silence. And then, you know, it's sad that I don't know that it is as common an occurrence as it was back in the day when we were kids. I think it was, I don't know, things were more respected. Like I remember working in the OR, and some ORs, you know, you could stop and do it. But then there are people that were able to stop, but they weren't. And I don't know, I just.
It's a tradition that's important to you, Andy, and so you can continue to honor it in your life and in your household. Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you. I think it's important for sure.
So beautiful. All right. Anybody else want to share any of their thoughts before we move forward from your reflection time? Everybody's good? All right. Well, while everybody's good and we've taken a moment to just kind of be still, we're going to lean into that before we bring our energy up with a fun, silly game and some beautiful art making. So let's do a practical tool. I have a 3 to 4 minute meditation for us. And as you're comfortable, I'm going to invite you we're going to set our intention again for this as we're coming into our holiday season and thinking about the energy that we're going to bring into the season ahead. So if you're comfortable, go ahead and uncross your legs and maybe find yourself in a more comfortable position. You may need to shift your weight. This will just be a short time together to shift our attention inward. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. If you don't want to be on the screen, you can turn away or turn the camera off, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to invite you now to close your eyes as you're in this comfortable position and shift your attention to your breath. Just notice the sensations as you breathe in and out at a slow, comfortable pace. Now we're going to slow our breathing just a little bit more. Let's do that by taking in a breath for 5, and out for 5. We're going to do this 3 more times together. In and out. In out. But just move at a comfortable pace for you. You can return your breathing to whatever pace is comfortable. And now we're going to think about something you feel grateful for in this moment, be it a person, an opportunity, or even be it that you're just taking this time to care for yourself. As we're going to shift into a mindset of gratitude, you may see or notice any physical sensations in your mind's eye or be feeling things in your body. You can just acknowledge them. You may feel a warm or a gentle tingling sensation or nothing at all, which is perfectly fine. Just allow yourself to settle into this moment, being grateful for this time you have, the people you have in your life, and opportunities in your life. And as we go through this process of gratitude, we relax the body and energize our mind. And I invite you to shift your mind into a state of curiosity and consideration as to how you want to show up for your next opportunity or interaction. What is the energy you bring and you want to bring to those that you have right in front of you for that time you have ahead of you? It may be helpful to think of a word or a phrase that describes you when you are at your best. Think about that now for a moment until the word or phrase starts to formulate and appear. And from this calm, curious place, allow yourself to receive whatever is coming to your mind. If your mind wanders, just return to your breath, feeling calm and grateful. Taking this word or direction, imagine this state of mind to be fully present into the experience of each moment. And now for a moment, let's lock that in. Imagine and hold yourself to embody that type of presence and that type of energy right now. And as we get ready to close this little practice for the day, before you open your eyes, I invite you to take another moment to share some gratitude for yourself, for taking this time to do this practice for yourself, to allow yourself to appreciate this. of being intentional to show up with the energy that we believe will best serve the people we care about. And through so, we will contribute a much greater experience to all those involved in our lives. And I share gratitude for you for taking this time to do so. And so when you're ready, I'll invite you to go ahead and open your eyes once again, nice and gently. And slowly come back into the room, into your space again. You may want to wiggle your fingers or toes to give yourself a nice big stretch. Roll your neck and your shoulders. I want to encourage you to stay connected to that anchor, that word or phrase that describes you and how you want to show up for yourself this season. So anytime we feel that stress rise to the surface, or we're starting to feel a rush back to our to-do list, know that you can always recharge your brain and recharge your energy by just noticing your breath, shifting to that feeling of gratitude for just a moment, allowing your body to soak in that positive energy and that positive space with that word or phrase that you chose today or you'll choose in a moment. And know that that shift can happen. And the more we practice it, the easier it will become anytime you need it. And I'm going to share a little chant with you. It's from today, and the words are peace before us, peace behind us, peace around our feet, peace within us, peace over us. Let all around us be peace. Peace before us, peace behind us, peace at our feet. Peace within us, peace over us, let all around us be peace. Love before us, love behind us, love be at our feet. Love within us, love over us, let all around us be love. Light before us, light behind us, light be at our feet. Light within us, light over us, let all around us be light. Peace be with you, friends.
And also with you.
That's beautiful. You know what? It was like a meditation for me. I closed my eyes again.
Yeah.
Oh, your voice is so angelic, I have to say.
Oh, thank you, guys. This is so beautiful to share in this time together. I didn't include it, but you can make your own. If you make like a square on a paper, you can think ahead to the holiday season of how you might like to show up for yourself. And so if you just make yourself a square, the 4 elements of our self-care holiday plan would be to reflect on our current self-care practices, recognize areas where we can improve, and generate ideas for this holiday season ahead and how you want to celebrate. So the 4 elements are, if you make yourself a little square, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. We are all spiritual beings, however we practice that. And so I'm going to invite you to make this little square and jot down these ideas. You could do it during this time together or after the fact. But again, it's like planning ahead. So we're setting ourselves up for success in the holiday season so that we have this little, and the bucket list is another way of being super intentional in our time together. And in this time you're setting aside to set your season up for a little more success. So I'm going to start sharing a few tips and tricks, and this is going to be a chatty, interactive time, so feel free to unmute if it sparks ideas for you. But before that, I thought that we could turn our attention to the bucket list because it could be something that we could be doing while we're chatting about tips and tricks for the season. So Angie, would you mind introducing a little bit more of the bucket list?
Sure. So this bucket list actually was presented to me last year by Jeannelle. She had it in her journal, and then I just made a quick little illustration for it, and I absolutely loved it so much, and that's why I had to recreate it on a little sticker and magnet. And so you can see that with the holiday bucket list, you know, typically our holiday lists are things like buy presents, wrap gifts, send gifts, shop for food, make cookies, see the lights. And as you can see, they have all been modified to a more intentional, heart-focused list. And it's be present. Wrap someone in a hug. That's my favorite. I love hugging people. Send love, donate food, make memories, and be the light. And I just want to say that it was Jeannelle's idea to bring the holiday bucket list as part of this session. And I think it's wonderful because you know what? For me, and I think a lot of this happens to a lot of people, the holidays do creep up on us. And I have never, I've never set an intention for the holidays, but now I can take this beautiful list and I will definitely use all of those, but now I'm going to write down other things that I want to be intentional about and the important things, right? Yeah. And I'm very grateful that I get to do this. And I'm going to write my things down here and I'm going to color this page and I'm going to stick it up on my wall there and look at it every day.
I love it.
Yeah.
And Angie, because we might have some people that are new in the recording who've never done faux calligraphy, maybe you could share a little bit about how to do that.
Yes, absolutely. So I have to tell you that I did not think that I was going to teach a faux calligraphy word, but I think perhaps
just something simple, like, because obviously you have many tools to point people to.
And so, and you know what, I should have sent this out and I will send it out when I send out the recording. The recording is coming out on Monday, by the way. And so the replay will be there. And I am going to also attach a joy traceable. So it'll teach you how to write the word joy. And so Deanna has practiced faux calligraphy or calligraphy. I'm not sure if Heather has. So the premise of it, So the premise of it is that you have heavy downstrokes and light upstrokes. And these can be created in modern calligraphy with various numbers of tools. But in faux calligraphy, all you need is a rigid tip utensil. So any marker, pencil, crayon, pen, pencil, and then the sheet of paper you're going to be tracing out solid lines, and then you are going to trace out the dotted lines, and the dotted lines are representative of the downstroke, and then you're going to color them in. So I have this beautiful sheet of paper that has joy written in all sorts of ways in faux calligraphy, and I do welcome you, Heather, if you have not, I will put it in the chat to get on my email list, and you'll get my faux calligraphy quick start guide. And then every week I do, every Tuesday, I have a Tuesday traceable where, and I think you are on the list, Deanna, but there's a Tuesday traceable that comes out every week with a word or a phrase that kind of goes along with the season. I began this in August, so you can also get like the back words that I have written. So I'm going to find that. And so that faux calligraphy quick start guide will give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. And then you can get, I do have a couple of free videos as well that you can get through that process.
Yeah. So if you want to try it in your time together, yeah, it's the basic premise is when you have a downstroke, you're going to thicken it up. And there's a, you have the bucket list you can trace. So you can go ahead and trace it if you like, if that's something that you want to turn your attention to in this time. Or as you're getting ideas, you might want to make a new bucket list because there's a blank one. So anyway, yes. I just wanted to invite you into that idea of trying some faux calligraphy because it's a great thing to add to your list. And Angie has such wonderful resources for that. All right.
Can I just add something?
Yeah.
And the words holiday bucket list are actually, it might be a little bit hard to see, but the solid lines are the mono line. And then it's a fine little dotted line you can see next to it. So if you trace those out like that, the solid lines and then the dotted lines and fill the spaces in between for that phrase there, holiday bucket list, it's actually in faux calligraphy. So
exactly. I noticed that, Angie, too. That's why I wanted to point that part out.
Thank you, Miss Jeannelle.
You could it's a way of keeping our hands busy as I'm going to be sharing some information. And again, This is a chatty, interactive time. So if it sparks something for you and you want to chat about it, this is the time to do so. I'd love to share some tools from a wonderful social worker friend of mine, Ann Martel. And she made a listing because I work with people who have experienced all kinds of losses. And you know what? The more we live, the more we experience stress and loss, especially at the holiday season. And days that are special like this, Remembrance Day and Veterans Day. So it's 'tis the season to be jolly, so they say. Sometimes we have incidences of holiday dreads and blues, no matter what the holiday season is or how you celebrate. The holidays can be heavy on our emotions sometimes because they're laden with so many expectations and memories, but our reality doesn't always match up to the popular image or the Hallmark Channel, right? So sometimes we can get a little bit of the holiday blues, some feelings of lack of joy or anxiety or conflicting emotions, right? For us Americans, it's like right around Thanksgiving, and maybe for Canadians too, but your Thanksgiving's a little earlier than us. And sometimes these feelings can continue on through Christmas, Hanukkah, and into the new year. So just want to, invite you to be aware if you notice any red flags in yourself with these feelings of anxiety or fatigue. Sometimes people will, they lose their ability to kind of enjoy our normal social activities. We may overeat or overdrink, which sometimes is part of the holiday, but when it becomes an everyday thing, then we can not be taking care of ourselves so well. Maybe we sleep or we don't sleep enough or we sleep too much. And sometimes in our places of work, if you're still in a office setting, people call it the holidays, DAZE, because they're checking out. They're struggling to do their job duties with the additional time demands of their holiday preparations, trying to squeeze in, dropping off cards on our lunch break or paying these extra bills. And we may be tempted to spend too much and fit in so many things with all the extra activities And sometimes there's a party atmosphere around us in our places of work that makes us hard. It's hard to focus and to get our work done. So what can be some of the causes? I think we've already identified, and you could unmute and share if you like, of these holiday blues and holiday dread sometimes we can feel can often be unrealistic expectations of how or should the holidays should be in our mind. We can experience a lot of financial pressures related to gift giving. We may feel a lack of appreciation from others as to the emotional energy that goes into the holiday preparations. It's like, Dad did all of the preparations and then we ate the soup and it was over, right? But sometimes, and if Dad didn't feel appreciated, he may not want to do that the next year. We can feel increased pressure as we're interacting with relatives, gathering around our tables at the holiday time that we normally maybe don't see eye to eye with. We can feel physical fatigue by all of the things, the eating, the sleeping not enough, the alcohol. We can feel guilt from this eating or oversleeping or alcohol. And we can feel contrast between the public merrymaking and then one's own private pain. Again, the holidays bring up a lot of memories for us, and sometimes those memories are good and sometimes they're not good. And sometimes we feel nostalgic for what was instead of focusing on what is or what could be. So knowing that our family and our friends, especially in these past COVID years, our family and good friends could not visit, or maybe we're not nearby. And maybe we experienced illness in our family or in ourselves, or the loss of a loved one and experiencing grief. So given those words or phrases, is there anything that's standing out to you that you may experience?
Okay, for me, I have to say there were lots of things that came up, but when you were saying, when I was a kid, my mom she just did the most incredible job at Christmas time. It just felt so special, and everything she would do. And when my kids were growing up, I tried to recreate these things. And I have to say, so when they were young, I had some depression, right? And so I would always try to, not let that affect them or whatever, but I think it did come through. And I always felt like, oh, this is not as special as what my mom used to do. And if I ask my kids now, because they're 21 and 22, what are your memories of Christmas? They would be like, oh, I'm sure they would say, oh, it was the best. Like we did this and we did that. Do you know what I mean? But I just felt like it never compared to just my mom. I don't know. She's like the Energizer Bunny, and she still is.
Amazing.
She would do so much. And yeah. Mm-hmm. It was always very special. And yeah, like I said, I'm sure my kids have fond memories of when they were younger, but when I compare it to when I was young, I think, wow, just the things she used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure it inspired you. And, and we do that. We beat ourselves up all the time.
I know.
We are not nice to ourselves as women. And
I
don't know if it's where this quote comes from. It may be even biblical, but comparison is the thief of joy.
Joy, I know.
So it's, but we are human and we do it.
And we do it. Yeah.
We do it. Any other words or phrases that stood out from that sharing? Any thoughts that bubbled to the surface? Anybody else want to share? So now I'm going to turn our attention to, okay, we acknowledge that the holidays can be really stressful. Jennifer, did you have anything you wanted to share? No. Okay. All right. She's just looking up. Okay. So what can we do about it? So taking this time is a great example. We are making connections. We're making contact. we can plan to be with other people. There's a recent podcast about adult friendships on the Mel Robbins podcast. I highly recommend. It talks about how adults have so much harder time in maintaining friendships because of, the way that our lives are. And sometimes we can have some really unrealistic expectations about our adult friendships. So we do that comparison as a thief of joy thing to ourselves all the time, because we're looking at other people's social media and we think everybody's life is a party, and look at they've got their S together. I'm not going to cuss on this recording. Nobody has their S together, right? We're all like just doing the best we can. So if you feel that you are being left out and you're feeling disconnected, you can take that, shift it, turn it around, turn the beat around, and be the one to be the initiator. Like, so if you feel like people are leaving you out, guess what? You can be the one to initiate. Let's have coffee. Let's have a Zoom date. I'm going on a walk. Let's go on a walk together, on the phone, because you're in Canada and I'm in Miami. Let's just chat it out as we take a walk together. We shared some of our favorite holiday memories and traditions. How can we take those memories and traditions to inspire a way to celebrate with the people that are currently in our circles, that are currently in our lives? How can we share that silly joy, that sitting on the steps, that Christmas morning long, lazy breakfast? How can we take that and share it with the people we love? So be that invitation, because if you're feeling that way, often the people in your circle are feeling that way too. And people are so happy to have our invitation, even if it's as simple as a 5-minute phone call. So make the connection, make the plan, take the charge. So depression feeds on isolation. So choose positive cheerleaders, no drainers. And you're going to recognize there's people in your life who will drain your energy that you need to be able to space yourself from, especially in a holiday season, which is already very draining. And the people who are your cheerleaders, who are going to rev up your energy. So being intentional to connect to those cheerleaders and those uplifters in your life. What's another way we can do it? Of course, taking charge, taking back a sense of control when we're feeling out of control. Life is already full of things that we cannot control, but taking intentional time, like today, like doing some faux calligraphy, like practicing some breathing, doing some artwork, listening to some favorite music, taking charge. Being healthy is another way we can combat the holiday blues. Getting into some good habits. I'm always struggling with this. I love, especially the holiday time, all of the extra yummy sweets and treats and salty things. I'm a salt craver, not a sugar craver. Come out, and I just want to eat all the cheese. I don't know about a sugar daddy, but if there was a queso daddy, I would be in trouble. I'm from Texas.
Oh, that's cute.
So I can never say no to. Forget the sugar daddy, give me a queso daddy and some salsa, and I'm all set, but I'm in deep trouble. I can't have it in my house all the time because I will eat it. So I have to set some boundaries for myself. As you know what, on Thanksgiving Day, I am going to, eat all the turkey and yummy cheese I want. But the next day, I need to get back into my exercise routine, because otherwise my body's not going to feel good, and I'm not going to have that energy to bring into my world, into my work as a music therapist, and bereavement specialist, homeschooling mom, and pastor's wife, and all the circles that I have to meet and the demands upon me. This is not a happy one that nobody likes to talk about usually, but budget. So draw up a reasonable holiday budget and stick to it, because this is a time when we overdo everything, and then we can be left with feelings of regret and remorse when the credit card bill comes in January. So also shopping is a challenge. And again, especially in this COVID time, with delayed shipping and things, we may not get all of the quote unquote things that we want in the time that we want. So I encourage you, if shopping and gift giving is a priority to you, to double your estimated time needed to get that done. So I know we maybe don't like to think about Christmas now, but Christmas is coming, and you're going to need those, whatever, the dry ingredients that aren't going to go bad for your holiday meal. Get them now, so then it's off of your list as the holiday gets closer and closer that you celebrate. Also, for those in the Christian tradition, I love this book. It's called Christmas Is Not Your Birthday by Mike Slatter. Slatter, he's a Methodist pastor. And anyway, now Christmas may be, actually there's millions of people in the world, but the actual December 25th is their birthday, but that is not the point. The point is we overindulge and we overdo and we overspend when there are so many people in our world that just need the basics. So taking some of that overage and the excess, and that's going back to this holiday list of, instead of shopping for food, donating food, taking this time, which is supposed to be a season of giving, or in Hanukkah, a season of light, and actually doing it. So intentionally cutting into that holiday budget to give to others. The repercussions of giving, it is far better to give than to receive, is going to make you feel so darn good. And you can give in so many ways. You can give of your time. You can give of your talent. We all have special gifts, and we have special abilities, and we're all unique. And believe it or not, we are all creative. So using your creativity and using your energy to serve others will make you feel so good and help you combat any holiday stress or blues you may be experiencing. So another one, not as popular, but saying no. No. Sometimes we have to limit our social commitments to those that are meaningful for you. And this comes back to that intention that we just practiced before with that meditation, is let's, come back to what our intentions are for the holiday season ahead, and how can our no be a yes to ourselves, right? And you don't have to be rude. You can say no very graciously, but just being realistic about what works for us and what does not work for us. And you do others a favor by honoring that too, of just being upfront and saying, you know what, I know you would love for me to come for holiday dinner, or, but my family has already made XYZ commitment, and thank you so much for thinking of us. And that can be it. You can just say no and thank you. You don't have to go into a long drawn explanation. And welcome, Angelina. We're so glad you're here. All right.
Thank you.
Hi. Welcome. We're just sharing in some tips and tricks for the holiday season to combat our stress. And while we're doing so, you may have received a holiday bucket list in your email from Angie, and we're taking a time to reflect and what would we like to put on our bucket list? What's important to us? So we're kind of taking this time to doodle and draw and have dialogue. And then we're going to be playing a holiday game.
Righty, thank you.
Of course.
Angelia, where are you from?
Belzoni, Mississippi, the heart of the Delta, the catfish capital of the world.
Yes, girl. Does your holiday include some yummy fried catfish?
Absolutely.
As it should. I'm from Texas originally, so I can appreciate.
I love me.
Yeah, so delicious. Wonderful. So Angelina, if you have something to write with, or we encourage you to doodle along in this time as we're sharing ideas. And I did share earlier, just for some intention setting, we're thinking about a holiday self-care plan, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, just like a little tic-tac-toe you can make on a page for yourself as you're thinking ahead for this season.
All right. Thank you.
Of course.
Can I make a comment, Jeannelle, about the things you said? And they're all wonderful suggestions. Saying thank you for the invite, but my family has this, and not going into a further explanation about it. Or, you were saying that for your Thanksgiving, you say, okay, I'm overindulging today, and tomorrow I'm going to get back on, do my exercise, start eating right again. But what's really important too, and I'm really bad for this, is when you do end up having that giant cookie after you've told yourself, I'm going to eat a little bit better, try not to beat yourself up, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
We are human.
We're
are
human,
not
exactly.
We are not robots.
Right.
I am a huge fan of all things personal development and self-care. But I have to be realistic too, because something that was brought to my attention recently is that a lot of these leaders and a lot of these personal development self-care spaces have written books, and they are young men. They are men in their 20s and early 30s without families and without the responsibility that a lot of women have. So we're trying to set ourselves up to a standard that is not realistic or even remotely looks like our life.
Yeah.
I love the Miracle Morning practice. I highly recommend. It's by Elrod. And that is taking time to create yourself a miracle morning by practicing. It's called the Savers, and it's silence, which is meditation, A, which is affirmation, V, which is visualizing what's important to you, E, which is exercise, R, which is reading 5 to 10 minutes of something to help develop yourself. And what is the S? It's leaving me for a second. But basically it's, being intentional with your morning so that you fill yourself up. But guess what? Like, as a mom, you might wake up with somebody throwing up on you, and there goes your miracle morning, right? And so all of a sudden, are you a failure? No, you're not. You can have a miracle afternoon. You can have a miracle day. Like, you can space out these intentions and these exercises at any time. And we don't have to beat ourselves up. Every day is another opportunity to start anew, even in the holiday season.
That's right.
And we don't have to celebrate the holiday on the holiday. We get so darn built into dates that this is the date and this is the how we have to do it. Yeah. And that's just a construct. We can celebrate anytime. I know I have family that's very far away, and we celebrate when we can. A brother of mine says, we never get the time we want, but we thank God for the time we get. So when we are together, that is when we celebrate. One year I got together with relatives, and we had not seen them in a really long time. And they still had Christmas presents at Easter for our son. So we called it Creaster. So we said, Happy Creaster. And we had a whole holiday morning experience together, and we celebrated, and we made a new memory. So,
beautiful.
So think about that. You, even if it doesn't have to be the day itself. It can be whenever you choose. So being realistic, we don't have to expect magical moments. We can allow improvements from previous holidays. We can do a little post, what did I like about last year? What did I not like about last year? And Be open to the pleasant surprises that may come along the way. There may be an invitation that comes to you from left field, but it just feels right. And you're like, you know what? I do want to get coffee with you. Let's go do it. If it's not it could be a hell yes. You know what I mean? Like, let's do it. So being intuitive to yourself and to that, what is going to match the energy that you need this season. Don't feel guilty. If you're not happy, remember, holiday dreads and blues are normal and they are temporary. Feelings are not bad or good. They are comfortable or uncomfortable. And we are human and we feel. So we're going to go through all kinds of feelings, even in the span of this hour and a half together today. They pass. Feelings are not always the reality. They are feelings. Brene Brown has a whole wonderful book, The Atlas of the Heart, that talks about like 64 different emotions. We're just not the mad, glad, sad triad, right? we're complex, we're beautiful, and we're unique and wonderfully made. So acknowledging that we have feelings, but they're not going to last forever. And guilty is a feeling that we can get ourselves so stuck. We don't have to stick there. We don't have to stay. We can feel it, but we don't have to stay. So acknowledge those feelings, and we don't have to stick there. And we, sometimes when we have those feelings, we want to rush to that queso for me, or and a margarita.
Cookie.
That's like, come on, yeah,
Cookie for me,
or whatever. Yeah, my husband sometimes will take one look at me, and he's like, "It's time for Tex-Mex." And he knows that just that's what I need, and all will be well in the world again.
Oh, you're
and
so
cute. That's my thing. And I'm sure we all have that for ourselves. So you don't have to feel guilty about that. It's just acknowledging, okay, it's not going to stick. It's not going to stay. So you give gifts to others. Now take this season to give a gift to yourself. What can you do in this season that would be more calming, more joyful, more comforting, etc.? What can you gift to yourself in your holiday self-care plan? What can you gift to yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? And a reminder, remember that the real reason for the holidays is a spiritual renewal, sharing our love with others, sharing love with ourselves. So set aside time to pray, meditate, whatever you like to call it. And, and connect to the universe and rejoice and renew and be thankful. So before we go on, I'd love to hear from you. What are maybe anything that came up from those tips and tricks, and what might bubble to your mind from that conversation? Would anyone like to share?
Well, the one that hit home with me was being realistic. And that's on my bucket list, because I try to be too many things to too many people and not enough to myself. And so then it's very hard for me. So I think being realistic, and it will give me more inner peace and maybe show my best self.
Jennifer, I can so relate to that.
That's beautiful, Jen. Thanks for sharing that.
It's funny, in my book, I have this book here that, I found it kind of funny that you're asking us to put into the 4 squares. So I have this book that I've created that has physical well-being, emotional well-being, and my creative well-being.
Oh,
yeah. And I think creative well-being really fits into the spiritual. you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've been just looking at different quotes and writing them out and doing them in calligraphy because I find that very calming as well. But one of them that kind of just jumped out of the page was, be proud of how hard you're trying.
Mm.
Hey, I love it. Yes, ma'am. Louder for the girls in the back.
I love that
Beautiful.
too. I got to write that one down.
Mhm. Any other thoughts bubbling to the surface in this time?
I don't know about everybody else, but I promise you that during COVID, I found out I've got OCD. I
Oh,
promise.
Ah.
Mine is just to stay focused because I
Mhm.
promise you, I have got 17 things, beautiful things, great ideas sitting there, half done, started because I was totally inspired. And then something on responsibility comes up, and I've got to go take care of that. So there it sits. And it's
yeah.
not that it's guilt in me, it's just that I cannot sit with it. I will do a little bit on it and then I walk away and I have to look at it. And in doing that, I have all these things sitting around. So I really appreciate what Jennifer was sharing, because I need to be realistic with what I can get done and put the guilt away with the others. Because I even do that with
Mm.
Christmas decorating. You know,
Yeah.
it will take me 3 months to decorate for Christmas. So I was just thinking that came to me.
Yeah, I love that. And maybe you can make it a little game with yourself of just being intentional. Like sometimes what I do a lot is I set a lot of timers, and I give myself, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes to do my makeup and I am done. If I ever have, like, I'm missing an eyelash, whatever it is, I've got to be done because time is finite and limited and I've got to get done. And I've been very guilty. I'm a multitasker, and I know that, when we multitask, we can like lose focus. So for me, using that tool, using a timer and saying for 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and put, my full attention and energy into this or whatever it is. And then sometimes in those 5 minutes, I become so inspired that I do more, it's like I have to like psychologically trick myself. But there's so many resources and tools. And, I think letting go of the guilt of that and being realistic can be a gift you can definitely give to yourself this season. And sometimes these are all like expectations that we're putting on ourselves, but our family and friends, they don't care. They are happy to like come and sit in your messy kitchen and, with the dishes in the sink and crumbs on the counter, because they want to be with you. They don't care about the messy kitchen. So keep that in mind about being present, being the light, and taking that, the Hallmark industry doesn't do us any favors about, you know what I mean, of things being perfect.
Yeah.
Life is not perfect. So, it's not going to be perfect, but we can be present. And that's so important.
Life and social media, as you had mentioned before too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you know what, it's wonderful to write out the intentions, and I think that we should this should be an annual thing. I really am enjoying this very much.
Oh, good. I'm in. I love it.
Love it.
Yeah. So one final like little tip and trick is just to think about, it's another exercise that you can do for yourself on a page. This is an image, like it's just what I control and what I cannot control. So thinking about what are inside the boundaries of our control. And so we can control our thoughts and our actions. We can control what we give our energy to. We can control how we handle challenges. We can control how we speak to ourselves. We can control the goals that we set, but we cannot control the past. We cannot control the future. We cannot control the actions of others. the opinions of others, what happens around us, what other people think of me. Something I've learned along the way is what other people think of me is none of my business. It took me a while for that one to sink in, but it's true. It's what's in their head is none of my business. But I have to go back to what I can control, which are my own thoughts and actions. We can't control even the outcome of our efforts. Sometimes we can go through all these extreme efforts at the holiday time to make something what is super important to us, and it doesn't turn out the way we want because someone gets sick or an animal runs out loose or something doesn't happen. We can't beat ourselves up about that. Just as a reminder, because it's outside of your efforts, it's outside of your control. And we can't control how others take care of themselves as much as we want to. We can control how we take care of ourselves. Any other thoughts about that before we move to some fun games, some fun and merriment? Would anybody like to share something that is on your holiday bucket list now from this time together? It could be one that's already there or one that has come to your mind as we've been doodling and noodling and thinking about the season.
Well, the last one that I wrote on my list as you were speaking was be kind to yourself first.
First, yes.
That makes me so happy, Jen.
Mm-hmm. I colored the empty holiday bucket list, and I wrote one thing in it, but I'm going to make a few copies of this. I think spend time with my favorite people.
Yay! Yes, connection. Yeah. Going back to your word, Angie, of connection.
Yeah, I have a really amazing friend since kindergarten, and she lives in Toronto. But we don't see each other very often. But when we do, it's like don't miss a step. It's like we were just together yesterday, you know. And she is just such a beautiful light, just positive energy, just wonderful, wonderful. And I'm going to make sure that I reach out and say, hey, let's set a little date aside that we can get together. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Any other thoughts? Well, I'm going to share some funny things that my family likes to do at the holidays. So we like funny surprises, and so maybe you can find a way to have some funny surprise to add some joy and merriment. I don't know if you've ever heard of, you can look it up, but it's called the white elephant gift, where you get together with friends or families or coworkers, and you pick something of like a nominal value, like $10 or less, you know, and you have to get something that is $10 or less, or something that's just really weird from your home, and you wrap it up really beautifully. And then you go around and everybody opens their white elephant gift, and you can steal a gift from someone else. Oh, I know you guys have to hop off, Heather, and so glad you could join us. And we'll have the replay so you can come back and play the game with us later. Please keep in touch with us. And
yes, thank you. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Yes, show your line real quick. But
oh yes,
I really enjoyed doing that. I just copied the one that you had there. I don't have ink in my printer, so just tried to copy, and I tried to do the calligraphy on the.
Beautiful! You did a great
job. Beautiful.
You drew that, Heather?
Sorry?
You drew that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So talented.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I guess we're late for 12 o'clock, but thank you again.
Well,
thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming.
Happy holidays.
We do have a little quiz that you were not able to take part in. So I'm going to send you a prize anyway. So I need your addresses, but we can talk about that later. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, yes. Happiest holidays to you both.
Happy holidays,
holidays.
to everyone.
Bye. Happy holidays.
So doing something that is cost like little to no money is great, a great fun way to celebrate with others. Just taking that pressure off and focusing on the humor and the joy. Another thing, now, so we're in Miami now. You guys are there might be snow, but the funny thing is they have these. You can get these cotton snowballs. So what we do is we wrap this box of cotton snowballs and we don't know who's going to get it. And as soon as the box is opened, we have a snowball fight.
Oh, that's awesome.
So in the middle of all of the mess and all the wrapping paper is a snowball fight. And we're binging each other and zinging each other. And I'm binging you now with a snowball fight.
I love it.
So that's a fun way to just infuse some joy and creativity and play into the day. You can use any snowballs. Another fun thing, again, like because in Miami and snow is unique to us, is that I learned about this magic snow. I was in Harrods of London with my husband for our 20th anniversary, and it's a polymer. And like this amount of snow, it grows 5 times itself. So this will make 5 gallons of snow. It is, and so you just pour a little bit of water with like a little bit of the polymer, and it expands. It is so fun, and it's sensory, and like you don't have to be a little kid. Like adults love it too. I just did this for a workshop I did with pastors, and I had them all add a little polymer to their hand and just see this expansion and the smile and the joy and the sensory. It feels so good to be like digging in this snow polymer, and it dries by itself and it goes back to the regular size, so you can reuse it over and over and over again.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, but my son really likes to play with it, so we actually have a little bin, and I just keep it in the refrigerator so that it stays cold and it stays use cold water.
What a fun mom you are.
So he can have a little snow day anytime. So that's just a fun little thing that I've discovered along the way that's bringing me joy to share, little like things that are, they're not expensive, but they're just like fun. So just intentionally picking gifts or things that make you happy, that make others happy. My husband and I were, I love the show Schitt's Creek. And so we were shopping and we came across these mugs, and it's all of the Schitt's Creek characters, and they all have funny sayings. So this one says warmest regards.
Oh,
so so it just brings me joy. It's like not that deep, but it's just like I am smiling through my workday when I'm like drinking out of this cup, because it just makes me think of the show, and it makes me laugh, and it makes me smile. So, you can do that for yourself too. So it's okay to be out holiday shopping and we laugh, but we buy ourselves a gift because it brings us joy, so put yourself on your holiday list.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So with that, and keeping ourselves on our holiday list, I know we're a small group, but we'll have fun with this little game. I need you to take a piece of paper and just write 9 blanks on it, because we're going to do 9 answers. So like 9 dashes so that you can write your answer, so we all have the same answer. Okay.
Okay.
It's like a true or false game. So, it's either yes or no. And as we play the game, whatever first comes to mind is what you share. And I hope you guys love holiday songs, because these are all, this is a holiday caroling trivia quiz. So we'll test your holiday caroling knowledge just for fun.
And I'm just getting it on the screen here for us. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Let's see. Okay, bear with me as I share my screen.
All is well. That's okay.
Screen.
Yay! A fa la 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 Christmas Carol quiz.
Yes.
All right, Angie, maybe we can alternate in asking the questions.
Sure.
Or do you want me to ask the question and then you
No,
do
I can,
whatever?
yeah, we can alternate, or I can ask
Okay.
them whatever you like. I'm not happy with my screen yet.
Okay, we'll let you get happy.
I'm playing with
happy.
it. Happy, clap along if you feel.
Like a room without a roof. Well, while we're doing that, I'm going to teach you a little happy brain trick. So Dr. Stephen Rudin and Dr. Ronald Rugen came up with a therapeutic touch activity, and it's called self-havening. And so if you're ever finding yourself at a place of stress, it's similar to the concept of tapping. We can evoke biological soothing responses by the first step is rubbing our hands together. So we're going to rub our hands together for a minute. And then we're going to touch our shoulders and give ourselves like a little bit of a hug and run down our arms. That feels so good. So we're changing pathways that are linked to emotional distress, and we're going to increase our serotonin levels. So we do that next. And then finally, the third step is actually to gently, if you're comfortable, stroke your forehead and cheek. So it's a soothing motion. It's going to like stimulate all of those happy chemicals we get when we're being soothed. And because I'm a music therapist, we've got to add some music and to help us remember it with our brain. So let's do Deck the Halls. Ready? So we're going to do the three motions with the music. Ready? So it's deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Stroll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. La 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 la. So it's like giving yourself a nice holiday hug, and you can do this at any tempo with any music you choose, but it's the 1, 2, 3, the 1, the 2, and the 3, and it's a great way to tap back into the moment when we're feeling a little overwhelmed. You can go back into that. It's called self-havening technique.
Self-havening technique.
Yes, self-havening.
I love all these tips and tricks.
You got it. All right. Yeah. So are you ready with your screen?
I am ready, my friend.
I gave you a commercial break.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to start with question number 1. In the carol, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. In the lyrics, what's the prettiest sight to see? And I apologize, there's no background music because I can't seem to figure out how to do the background music.
And no, it's better because then a lot of times you have to sing it in your head. And
yes, I know. And that's another thing. If you're playing a different Christmas carol and you're trying to figure out another Christmas carol, you're like, oh my gosh, 2 competing songs in your brain, too difficult, right? Okay. So ladies.
Okay, anybody have a guess of the prettiest sight to see? I can see Jennifer.
What's the prettiest sight to see? And do not look at your phones.
Lights
is what, Angeline?
Excuse my husband's coughing. Lights on the tree.
Ah, that is a great guess, but I'm going to give us a fa on that one. So write fa on the first note of your paper and flip it over here next to Angie with the answer.
It's missile, right?
And
the
the prettiest
holly.
sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. All right, that's okay. We got a fa on that one. So if we get it wrong, we're going to write fa, and if we get it right, we're going to write law. And trust me, it's funnier if we get them wrong sometimes. So
Okay, does everybody get that?
So like if true is la and false is fa. So everybody write fa or s on their paper because we're going to give 9 answers together. Y'all ready? Let's do the next one.
Next one. In the song Jingle Bells, what kind of sleigh is it?
One horse open.
Yay,
Very good. A one horse open sleigh.
So everybody write law for the second blank on their paper.
If you got it right.
Everybody's going to write the same answer. So as a group, we're going to write law. Yeah.
Oh,
we're gonna
okay.
all want
Thank you,
we all want the same answers. So whether we get them right or wrong. All
okay,
right.
very good. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Go ahead.
In O Little Town of Bethlehem, where do the silent stars go by? Anybody want to take a stab at that lyric? No takers?
No.
Let's write down fa for ourselves.
Okay,
we didn't have any
fa.
takers. Fa for number 3.
Okay.
Next is, let's get the answer.
Above thy deep end.
Dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. I love these images, Angie. These are
They're
beautiful.
pretty, aren't they?
Oh my gosh, I'm in love. They're so
I had
beautiful.
so much fun making this.
All
Which
right.
song is considered America's most popular Christmas song? Who knows?
This is a very, and these are very intentionally like slanted so that sometimes we're just gonna get them wrong, and that it's part of the game.
Is it
Rudolph.
the one by Mariah Carey?
Rudolph, the one by Mariah Carey. All excellent guesses. All right, let's write down fa for ourselves on our paper, and we'll see what the answer says. So number 4, we're gonna write down fa.
And the answer is
White Christmas.
White Christmas.
That's the first thing that came to my mind too. I always go with your first shot.
Isn't that funny, eh?
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. Very good, guys. All right, let's try the next one.
Oh, this is a tough one.
This one's super tough on purpose. What Christmas operetta song written by Victor Herbert in 1903 described a land for boys and girls?
Toyland.
Oh, very good.
Holy moly, she got it right. In all the years I played this game, nobody gets that one right. That's amazing. So everybody write law for number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on their paper. Toyland.
Very good, Angelia.
Thank you. Girl and boyland. Angelina got it.
Wow. Wow.
That's a-
Wow. 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 That's all I have to say. I had to look that one up.
And this image is adorable, Angie.
Cute, isn't it?
It's so cute.
All right. Number 6.
Which popular, go ahead.
Which popular Christmas carol is considered to be a lullaby?
Any takers on this one?
Hold on a minute. Hold on.
A lullaby Christmas carol. Oh.
Oh Holy Night.
That's a beautiful guess. Let's turn the page and see the answer. And
Away
in
in
a
a manger.
That's right, Paul, for number 6.
Ah, that's a beautiful one, though. I love "Oh Holy Night." That's one of my favorites.
Oh, Holy Night is a song I've sung in church like almost every Christmas Eve as a solo. I just love that song.
Oh, I love it too. Okay,
yes.
next, number 7, Jeannelle.
In A Holly Jolly Christmas, the lyrics tell us to have a cup of what? A cup of what for the Holly Jolly Christmas?
Jolly Christmas. This is hard.
I like your little dancing bulbs. Super
Aren't they
cute.
cute?
It's like they're dancing to the music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but I'll have a cup of
cheer.
Rhymes with beer.
Yes, let's put a law. A cup of cheer. A lot of times people say a cup of beer. That works too.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's cheerful sometimes.
Yes,
I love it.
A cup of cheer is it.
A cup of cheer. So precious.
All right, number 8. The composer.
Go ahead,
Jeannelle.
Okay, the composer of Go Tell It on the Mountain is often debated. Many feel it is John Wesley's work in Nashville, Tennessee. In the lyrics, we are told to tell what over the hills and everywhere.
Oh.
Go tell it
Jesus
on the
Christ.
mountain. Amen. We've got some church in here. Next, that's correct. Everybody write law on their paper that Jesus Christ is born. Go tell it on the mountain. Over the hills and everywhere, go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
Beautiful.
All right.
And our final question, Jeannelle, take it away.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got that one as law, and the next this is last one. So don't forget to write law on number 8. The final question. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a song based on a children's Christmas story. Name another Christmas song that is also based on a story. Really have to put on, I forgot to put on my thinking hat. Got to put on our thinking cap for this one. This one really got to think really hard about this one.
Oh, I found this one easy.
Me too.
Oh, what do you guys think? What is it? What's the Christmas story?
Little drummer boy.
Little drummer boy.
Oh.
Next. Here's the answer.
Oh, come on.
That is the answer, correct, Jeannelle?
Yeah. And another one that I would accept is Frosty the Snowman. Also tells a story of meeting a little, snowman and the adventures that they have.
But I have to say that the little drummer boy, I mean, you don't see it, but there was the story.
Yeah, I think. Well, okay, if you guys want to change it to law, I will give it to you. What do you think?
I think we should accept that answer.
Okay, so we're going to change. Okay, cross out your fa and make it a law.
I forgot all about that one, but that was a beautiful one. They don't show it very often.
No, they don't. It's so precious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our answers, and we'll, depending on timing, we might get to go back and do a few more just for fun. But let's. So we have our answers, and they are fa la fa fa la fa la 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 la. Everybody have on the same page?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have created our new Christmas chorus. We're going to deck the halls with boughs of holly, and we're going to sing our new lyrics. Are you ready?
Oh, that's going to be hard.
Yeah,
it's very hard. We can do it. I believe in it. All right, ready? Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la fa fa la 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 la.
Okay.
'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la fa fa la fa la la la. Don we now our gay apparel. Fa la fa fa la la la. Go the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la fa fa la fa la.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
So cute.
I'm so proud of you all for taking this time today to invest in yourself and your holiday self-care plan. And in our remaining time together, Angie, what do you think? Do you want to do a couple more trivia lyrics, or do we want to call it a day? It's up to you.
How about you ladies? Are you pressed for time?
Yeah, I have to go.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
so let's wrap it up then. Jeannelle, do you have a few more things that you'd like to say?
Well, I will share with you a blessing. This is an Irish blessing then to close. May the road rise to meet you, and the wind be at your back, and the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain falls softly on your fields. And until we meet again, yes, until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. And we wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy holidays!
Yay! Good job.
Ladies, I want to say thank you so much for coming. It was so great sharing this time with you. I really got a lot out of it, and I like a big extra special hug for Jeannelle. Jeannelle, this was wonderful. I absolutely loved it. And you have so many beautiful talents and all those tips and tricks that you have to share. And I'm so appreciative of them. And I want to wish you ladies in the US a happy Thanksgiving as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was beautiful.